Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 755th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Now, this is a very special and unusual battle, as this is a very rare 3v3 battle that I'm putting on for you today. But the reason I'm putting this 3v3 battle on for you is because it's really exciting and really close. See who you think is going to win towards the end of the battle. Okay, it's fought on my favourite map, the Germanic Forest map, where we've talked about before, or we can fight out on the open plains if you want, or you can hide your troops in the woods and spring those nasty ambushes. And of course, if you bring barbarian troops, you've got the winter bonus and the woods bonus as well. So that's why I like this map so much. Okay, our first teammate is someone who's called himself Chinrazig, OTD Chinrazig, but is in fact Scorpion King SR, and he's got 6 cavalry, 9 infantry and 5 archers. Okay, so that's a pretty tried and tested Scorpion King army there. If you notice, he just got gold shield, gold attack on his infantry. He usually brings pretty good cavalry. Here you'll see his general's got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So there's his general there. So as I say, that's 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Let's have a look at his cavalry there. And there you are, he's got 8 upgrades on some of his cavalry units, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack, and others of his cavalry unit, he just got 7 upgrades on, and experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So he's certainly got mixed upgrades through his cavalry, but that looks like a pretty good Scorpion King SR Roman army to me. Remember, this is a 31k battle. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman. Now, Barclayman's got 13 Sacred Band infantry, 3 slingers and 4 cavalry. Okay, so remember, this is Barclayman's faction of choice on the 31k battlefield. Carthage has always been good with them. And if you notice here, he's got mixed upgrades. About half of his Sacred Band have got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Okay, there, as you can see. And we know that this infantry is really tough, but with those upgrades on, it makes them really great. And the other half of his spearmen have just got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack there. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. I'm guessing just gold shield, gold attack on his Sacred Band cavalry there. So that's a tried and tested Barclayman army there. As I say, that is his faction of choice. And our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander. I've got 13 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, very old Roman army of mine, but it's still effective even on the modern day battlefield there. So there's our team. It's going to be a cracking battle. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Canary. Now, Canary has got 10 pikes, 5 cavalry and 4 archers. Okay, 10 pikes, 5 cavalry and 4 archers. I don't see Canary bringing Seleucid very often, so this may well be an experimental 31k army. You'll notice there he's got 7 upgrades on his pikemen, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. And once again, we look at the length of those Seleucid pikemen there, knowing that our team have got to try and fight all the way down those pikes to kill the man on the other end. And I think all of his pikemen there have got 7 upgrades on. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. And you'll see that he's got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. And if you notice here, we call these guys the tanks of the ancient world, because they're armoured from head to toe, and used properly, they can be battle-winning troops. So I think that's a pretty good Seleucid army there. No Silver Shield Legionnaires though. A lot of people bring those, incorporate those in their Seleucid army. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Lando. Now, Lando's got 12 infantry, 2 archers, and 6 cavalry. As we know, Lando's one of the most aggressive attacking players on the game. Be interesting to see what he does during the course of this battle. I see he's just got gold shield, gold attack on his infantry there. So it tells me he's probably got very good cavalry. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. Yes, there you are. You can see he's got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. So watch out for Lando, as I say, one of the most aggressive attacking players on the game. It'll be interesting to see how well he performs during the course of the battle. Okay, their last teammate is GOTW Biggus. Now, Biggus has got 12 infantry, 6 cavalry, and 2 archers. And there you go. Nice to see a GOTW clansman in our games. You can see that his infantry have just got gold shield, gold attack on there. So it'd be interesting to see what the upgrades are on his cavalry. He's just behind a tree here, so we're going to have to count the upgrades a bit carefully there. So he's got 4, 5, 6, 7. So he's got 7 upgrades on his cavalry, and experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So there's the enemy team. As I say, it's got the potential to be a cracking 3v3 31k battle. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I just thought I'd give you a heads up to say that Barclayman's Carthage army, he's brought to try and counter Canary's Seleucid army. Yes, those Seleucid pike units are 121 man units, but as we know, Carthage does punch above its weight when it does come to fighting these big 121 man units. So it'll be interesting to see how Barclayman gets on against Canary during the course of the battle, if indeed they do lock horns. Here you'll see Scorpion King moving forward as he usually does during the course of the early part of the battle there. He likes to be very aggressive and very attacking, the same as Lando. Okay, so there you go, you can see Scorpion King moving forward. Now here you'll see that Biggus has brought one of his archer units forward there to probably target Scorpion King's army as it moves. Remember, in RTW, if you have got archers and you target enemy troops while they're moving, you can get a lot of casualties onto them from your archers there. Here's a nice move here by Scorpion King. Did you see he was going to bring that cavalry unit over to kind of sweep up those archers there, but then he saw the enemy troops moving forward and decided to move back. Right here where you can see Lando moving forward. As we said earlier, Lando's one of the most aggressive attacking players in the game, and you can see him there moving towards Scorpion King SR. But of course, as Lando's moving, he will be being hit by Scorpion King's archers there. As I just said, when units are moving, they are very susceptible to archer damage there. So Lando will be suffering some casualties there from Scorpion King's archers. But as I say, Scorpion King and Lando facing each other, that's where the fireworks possibly could start, as they are both very aggressive attacking players there. Okay, but you can see Scorpion King has moved his troops into the woods a little bit there now. And of course, if enemy troops attack, their attack is neutralised a little bit by trees. There you are, you can see the SBQR archers of Lando there, targeting Scorpion King's archers there. So I think for a while there we're into the kind of archer war there. Now you'll see there, can you see that Scorpion King is using fire arrows there? Now remember, fire arrows do less damage, okay, but they put a fear factor onto enemy troops. There's a nice little cavalry hit there by Scorpion King on, I think it was Canary's archers there. Didn't quite get them there as they pulled back before he could get them, but that was a nice aggressive cavalry attack there by Scorpion King on those Seleucid archers there. So as I say, you can see Lando and Scorpion King's army facing each other there. So that's where, as I say, the fireworks could start for this battle. The enemy have got a lot of archers here, and I think Scorpion King there, as I say, is in an archer war with the enemy archers on this particular flank. Now if you notice here, you'll see Scorpion King moving slightly over to the right here. Now he may well be thinking of doing a right flanking action of Lando, but he must be aware of those Seleucid cataphract cavalry there, waiting to charge in if he does try to kind of do a flanking action there. But I'm sure Scorpion King has factored all that in with his next movements there. A very experienced player, like myself, been playing Rome Total War since it first came out. Okay, so here you can see at the moment I'm facing Biggus, GOTW, Biggus' army there, and as I say, Barclayman will be eyeing up the Seleucid pikemen there with his Carthaginians ready to take them on. But as I say, I think poor old Scorpion King was a bit outnumbered archer-wise there. He's not just fighting SBQR archers, he's fighting Seleucid archers as well. And you can see his archers have taken a lot of casualties here as they're actually doing the archer war at the moment. This takes me back to the early days of Rome Total War, where for some reason or some reason I can't really think of really, we always used to do the archer war first before we got into the actual hand-to-hand fighting. So this is kind of a bit of a throwback, if you like, to the early days of Rome Total War, where we're kind of having the archer war first before we actually get into the real hand-to-hand fighting. Right, here you can see Scorpion King here has moved round to the right like we thought he would, but look at that Seleucid cavalry and the SBQR cavalry there. And as I say, Scorpion King looking like he's going to threaten the flank of Lando, but I say, just look at all this cavalry here, and the bulk of them in wedge formation. Remember when you charge in with a wedge formation, your cavalry gets more impact, more penetration there. And so you can see the enemy cavalry in wedge formation there, ready for action, ready to charge in the Scorpion King if he moves round any further. In fact, Lando might try and pin and hold him with his infantry, where the enemy then charge their cavalry into Scorpion King. So he needs to be aware of what's happening. It wouldn't surprise me actually if Scorpion King pulled his army back, actually seeing the threat from all this cavalry there. And there you go. Can you see Scorpion King now pulling his army back there? You can see the threat from all that well upgraded cavalry ready to charge into him there, and his move back. I think that's a really good tactical move there by Scorpion King, seeing the odds really against him there on that particular flank. So I say, nice move there. I say the enemy here have definitely got an archer advantage over us. Carthage, of course, have got some slingers. I don't have any archers in my army there. So Scorpion King's archers are definitely outnumbered there. Now this is a nice move I'd like to show you here. Can you see that Barclayman has left a core of his army there to hold the centre of our battle line there if the Seleucids decide to attack? Okay, but he's also being a good teammate and sending over some of his spears towards Scorpion King's army there, because remember, spears and pikes in this game are anti-cavalry. Now Barclayman has seen all that enemy cavalry over on the other flank threatening Scorpion Kinglet, so he's now moving a lot of his spearmen over towards that right flank. So if there is any kind of cavalry action over there, he can get those anti-cavalry spearmen over there to help Scorpion King. So that was a nice move there by Barclayman. But here, as you can see, a lot of Scorpion King's archers have now been taken out. Units reduced to 4. This unit here has been completely taken out. Look, that archer unit's been completely taken out. This unit's got 7 men left in it. That's all they've got left in them there. And there you can see Scorpion King moving a little bit more over to the left here. Okay. But if you notice here, just look at the way the enemy troops are moving. This might give you an idea of what the next move is going to be from the enemy troops. Okay, now Scorpion King can see the movement of the enemy troops here and is moving his army more over to the left. Okay, can you see that Biggus, GOTW Biggus, has moved his Scipioid army forward now towards my army, and there's a lot of pilot exchanging going on at the moment. You can see it actually looks, when they start throwing all those pilots, it's kind of like it's raining pilots, isn't it? If you look at that, just look at the amount of pilots that were thrown into each other there. But I think that if you look at the enemy disposition here, can you see the tactics that they're looking at doing here? Okay, so they've now moved all their cavalry over to this flank. So I think there could be 17 units of enemy cavalry on this left flank facing my army. 17 well upgraded cavalry units there, ready to smash in to my infantry. Now if Biggus here attacks my infantry, pins and holds my forward units, and then 17 units of cavalry smashes through, or maybe the Seleucid general might take his cataphracts round the flank and smash into the flank of my army there, as the rest of the enemy cavalry charge straight into the front of it. So I think from what I can see here, looking at the enemy disposition, it looks like my army is going to be the one that's going to get hit here by concerted enemy attacks, especially all that cavalry. Okay, now if you notice here, that cavalry is locked and loaded. Now I've got my cavalry locked and loaded as well, ready to counter-attack if I'm hit by enemy cavalry. But as I say, just look at the general disposition of the enemy troops there. All that cavalry. Now you can see that Biggus is, as we thought, attacking my forward units to pin and hold my units there. This is a nice little move there. Can you see Scorpion King was going to nip out and try and get those SBQR archers? But Canary, the SBQR alloy there, got a cavalry unit out there to support that archer unit. But here, as I say, you can see Biggus moving his infantry forward there. We're starting to exchange pilers again there. And as I say, you can see there that Biggus is now pulling his infantry back. But you can see Lando bringing his SBQR infantry over as well. So make no mistake, if you can look at the disposition of the enemy troops here, look who they are going to hit at this stage of the battle. Right, you can see there now Biggus is moving his Scipio troops into pin and hold my forward units of my battle formation there. He's overlapping and bringing units around the flank as well there. Can you see? This is a really aggressive attack there by the enemy team. And you can see the enemy SPQR cavalry charging. Now look at all the other enemy cavalry. Right, you can see that SPQR cavalry has already hit me. Lando's cavalry has already hit me. You can see all the enemy Scipii cavalry and the Seleucid cavalry there ready to smash in. You can see that the Scipii infantry have come around my flanks and are attacking my flanks there. Oh my gosh, look at that massive amount of well upgraded cavalry going to smash into my army. Could well be a mass rout here of my army. As I say, I've got my cavalry locked and loaded, going to try and counter-attack there, but I just think there's too many well upgraded cavalry coming in on my infantry. We'll just have to see. Right, you can see that Scipii cavalry smashing into me. Bang! And it goes in. You see my cavalry going to counter-attack now. Look. Bang! As they smash in there. Oh my gosh, just look at that massive impact of cavalry coming in on my infantry and cavalry. You'll see Barclayman had brought some of his spear units across here, but oh my gosh, let's pause the game for a second. So there you are. You can see that a heck of a lot of my units, all my cavalry for instance, and a lot of my infantry has now been routed by that massive cavalry attack that's just come in on my infantry there. So they're going to roll us up now from left to right, I would think. There you can see all that Scipii infantry charging as well. And as I say, that massive attack there has caused a mass rout. It's a good move by Barclayman here, bringing some of his spear units across there to maybe set up a defence line there against all that enemy cavalry. He's got his slingers there as well, shooting into them. But as I say, here you can see a heck of a lot of my units have now been mass routed there. Just look at that. And there's that SPQR cavalry going in once again, look. And bang! As it charges in there. Oh my gosh. So it looks to me like I might have about 4 or 5 infantry units left. That's all I've got. And just look at that SPQR cavalry penetrating into my infantry there. That was some kind of massive cavalry attack onto my infantry. Oh my gosh, I was expecting a complete mass rout there, so I'm lucky to have 4 or 5 units left. You can see Scorpion King's brought his units over, but what I'd like to show you here is if you read the writing, can you see unhappy to see friends routing? Okay, so when allies routing troops run through your troops, it drops the morale of your allies' troops. So as routing troops run through your allies' troops, it drops their morale and can make them more susceptible to routing. That's why sometimes you see mass routs where allies bring their armies over to help an ally who's routing, and then their army mass routes as well. If you notice there, let's say, unhappy to see friends routing there. So Scorpion King's army's morale's being dropped by my routing units running through it. I'm hoping that several of my units are going to rally. That's what I'm hoping for there. But we'll just have to wait and see. But as I say, just look at that amount of enemy cavalry that just smashed and crashed my battle formation there. You can see that Scipii infantry pouring in there. I've got SPQR infantry in there as well. I think there's even a couple of Seleucid pike units pushing in on what's left of my infantry there. So as I say, I'm amazed I've still got some units left there. So I'm quite pleased about that. Some of my cavalry has rallied there. I see here you are. You can see some of my cavalry has rallied. I'm hoping that some more may well rally. There you are. Let's just pause the game for a second there. So here's a couple more of my cavalry has rallied there. They're very battle depleted, as you can see, but they have rallied. So I can use them in the battle again. Here you can see some more of my cavalry has actually rallied as well. So I need to organise my cavalry, get them back into some kind of battle formation there where I can start using them effectively around the battlefield, I hope. But as I say there, that's I'm glad that they've actually rallied there. Now here you'll see that my infantry there, as I say, is trying to hold there against you see you've got Scipii infantry, you've got the pike units of Seleucid moving in on me as well, and of course you've got Lando's SPQR infantry as well, all pushing in on what's left of my infantry there. So as I say, I don't know how long the infantry that I've got left is going to hold. Looks to me like I've still got some pilers left within some of my infantry there that I'm throwing into the enemy troops there. This was a nice move by Barclayman, bringing some of his Carthaginian sacred band spearmen over here to help hold the line against that massive enemy attack there. And of course you've got Scorpion King's army in behind as well. Now I've got an Eagle unit and a General unit there as well, can you see? So that's not just giving my army a morale bonus, it's giving my allies morale bonus as well. Remember that when you're in the same team, any morale given units will give all the team morale bonus there. Right here you can see Canary moving towards our Carthage ally. But just look at the short spears of Carthage, okay? And look at the length of those Seleucid pikes, okay, and yet Carthage still punches above its weight against the Seleucid pikemen there, okay, even though those they've got those massively long pikes against the short spears of Carthage. Carthage still usually does very well against the Seleucids there, so it'd be interesting to see what happens over on that right flank. But here on our left flank you can see, look to me like the enemy cavalry is locked and loaded again, ready to charge in there. They've got some infantry in there as well. Now you can see Scorpion King here with his Julia army turning to face the threat of all that cavalry still stood out there ready to charge in. Okay, but as I say, I'm still losing infantry units there, being pressured by the enemy troops. And you can see Scorpion King there, he's throwing some pilers into the enemy troops as well. So that's going to help us there. But you can see that massive amount of enemy troops, Scipii and SBQR troops, and some Seleucid pikemen all pushing in on what's left of my infantry there. As I say, Scorpion King's brought his Julia army over here as well to try and shore up our left flank. But just look at the enemy cavalry advantage there. Look at all that cavalry they got ready to just charge straight into us there. So as I say, things not looking very good. I've lost more than half of my army, I think, now. So with that massive hit that I took earlier, as I say, I was really surprised that the whole of my army didn't mass rout there. So I'm pleased with that. There, I've got 5 rallied cavalry units left there. One of them quite battle damaged, but they are all a little bit battle damaged there. Right, pause the game for a second here. So here you got Barclayman here facing the Seleucid pikemen. You've got Lando's well upgraded cavalry. Remember, he's got 8 upgrades on his cavalry, attacking the Carthaginian Sacred Band cavalry there. Remember, Praetorian cavalry will beat Sacred Band cavalry there. So to say, now some of my infantry has rallied as well, including a very important unit. Okay, as I say, you can see some of my units are very battle damaged, but they've rallied there, as you can see. But this is very important here, this Eagle unit has rallied. Okay, so once again, that's a morale boosting unit. If I can get that over to my behind my army, my fighting army there, that's going to add even more morale, not just to my troops but to my allies' troops as well. So as you can see, I'm running them over there as fast as I can to get the reinforcements over to my army, and as I say, extra morale boost for all of our team there with that Eagle unit. Okay, so let's just pause again for a second here. So here you can see that Barclayman has put a line of 3 Carthage Sacred Band units out in front of Scorpion King's army there, and that Sacred Band, those Sacred Band units seem to be holding a line there against very aggressive attacks by the enemy troops. But as I say, you've got Scorpion King's Julia army right behind those Carthaginian units there for if the enemy do try and break through. Let's say I've got my general there and several other very battle damaged infantry units there as well, facing these pikes coming in on me as well. You can see the length of those pikes there. So as I say, I'm very surprised I've got any infantry left at this stage of the battle, looking at the massive hit that I took earlier. Okay, so over here on our right flank you'll see that Lando with his SBQR cavalry has been attacking our allies' cavalry there, the Sacred Band cavalry there, but luckily Barclayman brought out a couple of spear units to help his cavalry against that enemy SBQR cavalry there. But as I say, here you can see a lot of the enemy troops pushing in there. As I say, I've nearly got my rallied troops back over here to try and help shore up this flank. You'll see that Scorpion King is moving some of his Julii infantry forward there to help Barclayman there. That SBQR unit had flanked one of Barclayman's units there, so Scorpion King has stopped that. But over here you can see there's enemy SBQR Roman units as well, those Seleucid pikemen pushing in on Barclayman's spearmen there. So that's always a problem. I think Carthage has got kind of a bit of a problem against Roman troops there. Right, can you see that what Biggus is aiming for here? He's aiming for Scorpion King's general. Now, unusually there, you can see Scorpion King's put his general into a very exposed position there. And make no mistake, Biggus saw that. And what he was really trying to do, there you are, can you see Scorpion King's general just stood there? What Biggus was really trying to do was kill Scorpion King's general. Very unusual for Scorpion King to have his general exposed there to those possible massive cavalry hits coming in on him there. But he's got infantry support there to help his general, which you can see he's moving in there now. Okay, but as I say, make no mistake, Biggus was doing a strategic hit there with his cavalry, trying to take Scorpion King's general out. Right, that rallied eagle unit is now in place. Okay, so I've got that rallied eagle in place there. So I've got 2 eagle units, okay, and my general there, giving loads of morale, not just to my troops, but to all my allies' troops that are nearby. Okay, so there's a lot of morale going in for our team there with my 2 eagle units and general unit there. But as I say, over here, you can see Biggus going for Scorpion King's general. Whether he's going to kill him or not, we just have to wait and see. But as I say, Scorpion King's general very exposed to a cavalry hit there. Right. Okay, so I wanted to show you something here, which you might find interesting. Can you see that you've got anti-cavalry Seleucid pikes there of Canaries? Okay, so I don't want to go anywhere near them with my cavalry. And over here, you've got Seleucid pikes of Canary. But between those 2 Seleucid pike units is a gap. Okay, can you see there's no pike units in that gap? And you can see that Scorpion King is fighting that SPQR infantry there. Okay, no pikes there. So what I'm thinking about doing with my rallied cavalry is to try and smash through that gap between the Seleucid pikes there. That's what I would like to do. I'd like to try and smash through there. And then get in behind the enemy troops. Do you see what I mean? With my cavalry there, exploiting that gap of where there is no pikes. Okay, so you can see that's what my cavalry is looking to do. Now over here, you'll see that Barclayman's put in his Sacred Band cavalry, which were only gold shield, gold attack, up against Lando's Praetorian cavalry that's got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So we need to throw some spearmen in there, I think, as well. But meanwhile, as I say, I'm going to try and exploit this gap between the 2 Seleucid pike units on each side, and get ready for this. And bang! As I smash into those SBQR units that were there. Okay, as I say, I'd like to try and smash through this whole... Uh-oh, that's bad news for us. Okay, so that was Scorpion King's general has just been taken out. Okay, so Scorpion King now has lost his general morale bonus there. I think by that, those Seleucid cataphracts just smashed into his general unit, killed his general there. Okay, so we've lost a general morale bonus here, and over here it looks like poor old Barclayman's Sacred Band cavalry is being swamped by this elite, well-upgraded Praetorian cavalry. Here, as I say, you can see those Seleucid pikes and SPQR infantry making inroads into our Carthage ally there. But as I say, I'm trying to exploit that gap between those 2 Seleucid pike units there and trying to break through the enemy ranks there. But you can see that Seleucid cataphract cavalry unit there been brought in to try and plug the gap that my cavalry has actually made there. Meanwhile, over here on the left side, you'll see that Scorpion King has smashed in with his cavalry on this left flank and is routing several of the enemy units there. So well done to Scorpion King there. Nice cavalry hit there. Doing that very well there. And as I say, here you can see that my cavalry is trying to break through there, as I say, to get in behind the enemy troops and smash into them there. But that one Seleucid unit there has kind of blocked me breaking through there. But as I say, over here, I think Barclayman's lost most of his cavalry there. Okay, you can see most of Barclayman's cavalry's gone. I think he's got 1 cavalry unit left that you can see there. That's his 1 cavalry unit left, and it looks to me like Lando's changing the direction of his attack now with his cavalry. Looks like he may well be coming on the other flank. But as I say, the Sacred Band of Carthage here trying to fight Roman SBQR troops as well as the long pikes of Seleucid here I think that the enemy could well prevail there. As I say here, I think I'm going to pull my cavalry back now from that, trying to break through there and maybe look to hit somewhere else. But as I say, in the meantime, Scorpion King doing very well over on our left flank here. In fact, he could well. Look how he's surging through the enemy troops. Did you see how he surged his cavalry through the enemy troops there, routed them? So Scorpion King's done really well here on our left flank. Look at him charging in with his cavalry. That's our Carthage allies general has just been taken out by SBQR infantry there. But here comes Lando's SBQR cavalry. Look at him, bang, as he charges in the Scorpion King's cavalry here. Oh my gosh, just look at that massive cavalry hit. Right now you can see here, can you see that Scipii general there? You can see that Scorpion King and the SBQR cavalries there are really fighting it out. Okay, you can see those cataphracts there of Seleucid could be brought in there. Okay, over here you'll see that Barclayman's got a pike unit in there. As I say, I've got my 2 eagle units there and my general unit giving morale. But over on our right flank here, it looks really touch and go to me. It looks to me, if you look at the enemy numbers there, that our Carthage ally Barclayman is being broken here on the right flank by the sheer number of enemy that he's fighting there, both SBQR infantry and Seleucid pikemen there. So our right flank looks to me, after a fierce fight, like it could be in danger of breaking. But here goes my cavalry, and I'm going for that Scipii general. Can you see Biggus' Scipii general there? That's where I'm looking to hit. I want to smash into that general there with my rallied cavalry and try and take out that Scipii general. Right there, you can see my cavalry going in there like bang, as it smashes in to that Scipii infantry there. Probably didn't have the numbers to do the damage I've wanted to, but if you notice, my cavalry has now surged through the enemy units, and yes, we've managed to rout that Scipii general. Okay, so you can see my cavalry has surged through the enemy troops there and routed the enemy general and has gone through out behind the enemy troops. And also I'm running my infantry forward as well. So I was doing a combined infantry and cavalry attack there on the enemy troops. Now here you can see that Scorpion King fighting those SBQR cavalry is really tough. So what I'm looking to do now is to bring my cavalry in behind that engaged cavalry there and help Scorpion King out there, as I say, as I'm trying to surge forward with what I've got left of my infantry into those enemy Scipii troops there. But meanwhile over here you'll see that most of our Carthage allies spearmen have been taken out here with a combination of Seleucid and enemy SBQR attacks there on our right flank. I think Barclayman has been holding really well on that right flank, taking into consideration what he's been up against there. Okay, so here you can see my cavalry. What I'd like to do is charge into the rear of those Seleucid cataphracts there. Can you see my cavalry charging in there up into the back of those cataphracts? Bang! There's another cataphract unit coming in behind us, and bang, as my cavalry smashes into those Seleucid cataphracts. You can see the SBQR cavalry of Lando charging back into us. Look, and bang, as they smash into us as well. So our left flank here, look, I think Scorpion King and myself have done quite well here on our left flank against the enemy troops that were there. So yeah, we're not doing too bad here on the left flank there. There's a lot of enemy troops left there, and those cataphracts there could charge, get in behind us and charge in behind us there. But meanwhile here in the centre, as I say, I'm charging what's left of my infantry forward there into that enemy Scipii infantry there. As you can see, I'm trying to surge forward there. I haven't got a lot of infantry left, but that's what I'm trying to do. So there's a general overview of our left flank and centre there, and these cataphracts are pulling back to lock and load. There you are, you can see some of Lando's cavalry starting to rout now under the attack of both Scorpion King and myself here on this left flank. Okay, so we're doing quite well on the left flank here. Now can you see that pocket of Scipii infantry there? Right, can you see that pocket of Scipii infantry? I'm attacking that pocket of Scipii infantry with my infantry. Okay, so I'm trying to hit that, but also I'm going to ram home the attack with my cavalry, my rallied cavalry. I'm going to charge for that furthest Scipii infantry unit, hoping that my cavalry will penetrate through the other two units there. So it's hammer and anvil attack, like bang, bang there. So my infantry and cavalry are both smashing it in to those Scipii infantry units there, trying to take them out. So that's good there. We've taken most of those Scipii infantry units out, but they've got Cataphract cavalry and SBQR cavalry charging in behind us. Look, and bang, as they charge in there. Oh my gosh, look at that enemy cavalry there smashing in to our already tired and battled damaged troops. To be honest with you, I was expecting to see several of our Julii units start to rout there from that attack. Okay, so bad news for us on the right flank. After a massive fight, Barclayman has lost our right flank there. You can see there the spearmen that he had over there have finally been taken out. I think he might have one unit left over there. He's got one unit with 8 men left in there, but he was fighting both SBQR and Seleucid pikemen. Now all these Seleucid pikemen and SBQR troops are free to hit us now. Okay, and bearing in mind that we don't, Roman troops are no good at fighting Seleucids head on. We're going to have to try and be tactical and get in behind those Seleucid pikes or attack them in the flank. But you can see here Canary bringing those pike units over, those victorious pike units from the right flank here. And as I say, you can see that most of Barclayman's spearmen have now been taken out, and that's, we were relying on the spearmen there to help take out the Seleucid pikes there. So as I say, now with these pikes closing in on our Roman troops, you can see several of our Julii units are starting to rout now, with these pike units of Seleucid moving in on us. Now we need to move back here and have a think about how we're going to attack these pikes. We certainly don't want to play the Seleucid general's game of fighting him head on, which is what he wants. We need to look to outflank, get round the rear there. Can you see I've got a couple of my units here, very battle damaged. Look, I'm looking to get round behind the back of those Seleucid pikemen there. But as I say, we're going to have to be very tactical here. You already can see these cataphracts. Can you see they've been alt-attacked? Can you see those effective against armour maces? So those Seleucid cataphracts are using effective against armour maces against our Roman troops there. Okay, and they can be, as I say, very, very effective there. So as I say there, you can see the Seleucid pikes, the victorious Seleucid pikes moving in from our right flank here, moving into the centre there towards our Roman Julii troops. There's another SBQR cavalry unit just smashed into the rear of us as well here. But as I say, just look at those pikes moving forward. They just remind me like of a massive wave there, just slowly moving forward towards us with those long pikes threatening our Roman infantry there. So there you are, you can see Scorpion King moving his infantry back. You can see I've moved a few of my infantry units back there as well. Pause the game for a second. So you've got the general unit of Lando and the general unit of Canary. So they both got their generals still intact, still giving morale to their troops, okay, as they move forward there. Plus they're victorious troops there from winning over on the right flank, so their morale is going to be quite high as well. And I say, you can see how desperate we are. Scorpion King now is bringing his archers over to the fray now. They've shot all their arrows, so he'll probably put them in close formation and alt-attack them into the enemy troops. Whenever you see a team using their archers to attack, you know that they're in a pretty desperate position there. If they're having to use their archers in an alt-attack mode kind of thing there. So I say you've got Lando's SBQR troops and those Seleucid pikemen moving towards us there. And as I say, we're going to have to try and get in behind them, attack them from the flank as well. That's the only way we're going to do this. There. So as I say there, those Seleucid pikes there are a real problem for Roman troops, especially at this stage of the battle when our troops are battle depleted and are weak and their morale is low as well. But remember that the Seleucid morale is not good. Okay, so if you can get some of those Seleucid pikes to rout, then you can get, you may well get a mass rout going here. Look at that Seleucid cataphract, bang! Charge into the rear of my general unit, look, trying to kill my general there. That was a nice opportunist hit there by Canary with that Seleucid cataphract unit there. But there, remember, looking at this, the enemy are the Seleucids and the purple SBQR. Okay, so the Seleucids and the purple SBQR are the enemy. We are the red and Carthage. Now, can you see here that Barclayman's bringing a 70-man Carthage Sacred Band unit into the fray? Okay, so I can't believe he's got 70 men left. And plus, I've got some of my infantry attacking there as well. And as I say, here's one of my Eagle units has just been taken out by SBQR and Seleucid attacks there. Look at the cavalry I've got left there. I've got 1 man left in that cavalry unit, 2 men left in that cavalry unit, and 1 man left in that cavalry unit. So that's all the cavalry that I've got left there. Okay, but as I say, that one unit that Barclayman's bought in of 70 Sacred Band Spearmen at this late stage of the battle could well cause a problem there for the enemy. Right, that Seleucid Cataphract units pulled back, locked and loaded there, routed one of my units and routed one of Scorpion King's units there as it's showed. Right, okay, so bad news for us. My general has just been routed. Fought down to 5 men, but he has now just been routed by that Seleucid Cataphract smashing into the rear of him there. Okay, so I'm not sure if that's all my troops now have now been routed. I think that could be the end of my army there. I don't think I've got anything else left now, as far as I'm aware. I think it's all my army's gone there, so I can no longer have anything to do with the battle. Or I've got 1 cavalryman left there, I think, but that's all I got left, and he'll be killed pretty quick there. But as I say, this 170-man unit of cataphracts there, of Sacred Band Spearmen there, Carthage Sacred Band Spearmen, against all these enemy troops there. Plus you've got Scorpion King's infantry as well here. Look, he's got very battle damaged infantry, but he's using them on the flank there. Okay, so as I say, all my army has now been taken out. I've got nothing there. Here's my general running, the coward there, although he did quite well fighting down to just 4 men there. But yeah, so that's my all my army gone now. So it's up to Barclayman and Scorpion King here against Lando and Canary. Biggus' army's all been taken out. GOTW, Biggus' army's all been taken out there. So it's turned in at this stage to a 2v2 here on who's going to win. As I say, you can see the Carthage Sacred Band unit moving forward there. So we've routed the SBQ, our general there. You can notice there Lando's general's been routed. And as I say, here you can see our Carthage Sacred Band ally moving in there with that one big Carthage Sacred Band Spear unit there, routing a lot of enemy troops. And the Seleucid general's just been routed as well. I think that was Scorpion King did that, killed him as well, I think there. And it looks like our team has managed to just scrape a victory there. Oh my gosh, just look at that. Have you heard that? What's he got left in that unit there? How many men has Barclayman got left in that unit there? 3 men in that unit, but it was that big unit, 62 men still left in that unit that he bought in at the end of the battle there, that really, I think, turned this battle around. Scorpion King got 22 men in that unit. See, I think he's still got quite a few good numbers, and he's got 20 men in that unit. I still think he's got reasonable numbers for this stage of the battle there. So well done to Scorpion King and Barclayman there. They really turned the battle there. So well done to them. It's quite a spread out battle. Remember at the beginning of the battle there, we had the old fashioned archer war there, where Scorpion King, although he was really well outnumbered there by enemy archers, I think he made a really good deal there with his archers that killed a lot of enemy troops. As we move across the battlefield here, you'll see a lot of the dead here. And of course, as we move over to that left flank there, you'll see there, you can see chariots were brought into the battle there as well by Canary. But over here you'll see, as we move across the battlefield there, more and more dead as we get into the more intense part of the fight in there. Just look at that massive piles of dead there. I know this is only a 3v3, but looking at that mass pile of dead there, it looks more like a 4v4, doesn't it? Just look at those massive piles of dead there. Just goes to show how intense this battle really was. And there you are, you can see Lando's general there fought right down to the last man, fought right down to the general there before that unit was routed. So he did very well there. As I say, our team looks like it's managed to scrape in there. Have you ever heard of that old saying, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat? I don't know whether you've ever heard that saying before, but that's what I feel we did here. I think we snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. When I saw our right flank broke there and all those victorious enemy troops moving towards us, I thought that might have been it. But as I say, we managed to turn things around there. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game there. I thought everybody played well. It was a great battle there, and you can see it was a close victory, as we thought it would be. Highest kills in the game goes to Brotherhood member Barclayman there. 1,730 kills. That's a huge amount of kills, I think, for a 3v3. So really well done to Barclayman there. And I think he turned the battle towards the end. So well done to Canary. Got some good kills with Seleucid there. 1,419. So well done to Canary. Great kills there with Seleucid. Well done to Lando. Got some great kills there. 1,473. Great kills there. And well done to Biggus as well. Got over 1,100 kills there. So really well played, guys. Great battle. My kills, well, bearing in mind I was smashed and crashed on that left flank by that massive attack. I think those kills are pretty good, really, so I'm quite pleased with that. Well done to Scorpion King, second highest kills in the game, 1,489. Great kills there for Scorp, well done. And well done to Barclayman there, as I say, highest kills in the game. So I hope you enjoyed this very, very rare 3v3 battle that, we very rarely put a 3v3 on our Brotherhood channel, but I just thought this was such a great battle to watch that it was well worth putting on. Please leave a comment or a thumbs up. See you soon.